Hello, everyone. I felt inspired today after uh, after Bible study and then going with my wife to go shopping. Well, actually, we use the Walmart uh, where you buy the stuff online and then you just go park in a parking spot, and then they bring the stuff out to you and put it in the back of your truck or in the back seat of your car in your trunk or something. That was pretty cool. I was actually waiting for a service or something like that to happen in the Northeast because all the shopping and stuff I did was at BJ's Wholesale Club. But that's not what this is about. This is about the American dream. I'm 40 years old now, and I've been dreaming and working towards so many different dreams. And I'm not talking about dusty roads, but when I was younger, I thought about being a pro wrestler, but that never went anywhere. Never tried to dive into that training. But I did have many dreams of what I wanted to be, and I saw my dreams coming through with athletics. My, I guess you could say, athletic career started in high school playing high school football. Then after high school, I had a major leg surgery. During high school, I had a major leg surgery that they thought that I wasn't going to have a leg, let alone be able to be an athlete or something. Maybe I'll show that cut or scar or something later on. Then I rehabbed that after a year or so, walking on a cane. Went from being in a wheelchair to crutches, walking on a cane. Then I started playing semi-pro football, and that was an amazing reality because I was not only a player, I was a manager, a media guy. I was also the team photographer. So when I was when the defense was out on the field, I had my camera there taking pictures, or gave a camera to someone like, oh, just keep snapping pictures. This is the beginning of digital photography, so didn't have to worry too much about it, but you did have to change out the floppy disk to go in the camera. So that was there. We won championships. I tried to apply for an NFL combine, but I'm barely 6 foot tall. So being a lineman, they just laughed at me. And I eventually learned about a college player that I think he played at Rutgers in New Jersey, and he was the number one lineman in college, but he was, I think, 5'6" or 5'7", so no NFL teams would look at him, and that made me feel a hell of a lot better that that they wouldn't even look at me. So I went and I was actually recruited to be on the practice squad for an arena football team. That was the Gladiators in the New York, New Jersey Gladiators. And I sat the bench for them for about 2 games, and I was the best lineman they had on their team. But because I was short, they said no. Like, oh, well, I'm done with this. I found out about this thing called jujitsu, working at nightclubs, and somebody's like, oh yeah, instead of punching people, you should learn that jujitsu stuff. Like, what the heck is that? Never heard of the UFC or anything like that, but when I was given the opportunity to train, it's like, I want to do this. I don't want to play football anymore because I don't see that future path. I didn't see where that road was leading me to. And I hopped on training. It was something new. I was able to bench 465, but I couldn't throw 20 punches. So that was a major problem. So I stopped lifting weights in 2004 to get my arm endurance up, which eventually turned into my Rebel Fighting System conditioning class. And I started fighting in 2007. All this time, I was like, well, what do I want to do with my life? I want to get married. I want to have children, which at the time I already had a son. He was born in 2003. And I felt like I needed to be an inspiration to him. If he wanted a hero, I wanted to be that hero. I wanted to be that superhero. I played football. I eventually became a professional fighter. He went to a few of my fights. He watched some of my other fights that were broadcast on TV. So that gave him I wouldn't say bragging ability, but he was able to tell some of his classmates, like, look, my dad's going to be on TV fighting. Your dad does that? Wow. And then when I would show up to his school, he would be so happy, smiling from ear to ear. His classmates would come up to me and it's like, oh, you do the boxing thing? No, I'm not a boxer. I'm a cage fighter. Wow. So that was very inspirational. But always, I wanted to get married. I wanted to live out in the country. I wanted to become a farmer. I wanted to live life free and not have to worry about the punching a time clock, but I didn't know how to get there. So I just kept pushing at it, couldn't figure out why I kept missing the mark, running myself ragged, only sleeping maybe an hour or two a day. And it was very stressful, but very fulfilling. Then when I met my wife, well, actually, I didn't just meet her. I knew her after high school. Then we went our separate ways in life, dated a little bit, and found each other again, thanks to the social media, Facebook, and all of that stuff. And our story was really interesting and special, but it gave us a solid foundation of us rediscovering who we were and why we existed. I'll definitely get into all of that later on, but we started to plan out our American dream. Didn't know how we were going to get there. She wanted a little high-rise apartment and a Yorkie. I wanted to be a country boy and raise animals. She was like, oh no, I don't want that. I was like, well, then I'm not the guy for you, but she wanted me, so she started to come on board with all of that stuff. And at that time, I was a truck driver, a fighter, still trying to figure out the American dream. Then what was the turning point in everything was accepting, well, I can't even say accepting, but learning about Yah, and then accepting all of the experiences that I had as a, more so as a guiding tool of where I needed all of these experiences away from Yah to be able to come back to understand Yah better so that he could give me everything that I wanted. Once I finally accepted that, started reading the Word, he started to bless me with my American dream. Wanted more children. We had some miscarriages and everything. Once I accepted Yah, my wife got pregnant. Pregnancy held on. We're going good. I then met more and more people. They helped us out with things and started to grant me with the American dream that I wanted. I wanted to be able to do stuff like this, talk to a sideways iPhone in the middle of a forest. See? Look at that. Hopefully none of you all are dizzy watching this, but who knows? But now my American dream came true. I live out in the middle of the woods, watched the lamb get born today. I was able to help out moving food storage. This is the dream. I'm living the dream. This is my American dream. And I'm happy that you all are along for the ride. And I don't know what else to say. I've told my family this is what I wanted. And when I was given the opportunity to get up and go, to come out of here, my people, I was gone. I was telling them for years, you better prepare, because when I'm leaving and you're not ready, I can't help you. So when that day came and I was able to go, I really don't even know what their thoughts were with it. I told my son was all set and ready for it for years, that I would tell him and paint the picture for him. And he's developing into quite the young man, and hopefully he'll be out here soon to be able to experience this peace and serene lifestyle instead of the hustle and bustle of the city, even though he lives in the suburbs of New Jersey. But it's still a big change. It is something that not everyone will be granted the chance and opportunity for, but they will be able to see my American dream. So, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.